Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you today. Thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. I appreciate the support as we continue to grow our community. I put together a little video for you guys today on my C6 Corvette. I'm going to rant about it for a few minutes like I usually do on this channel. So I've had this car for about 2 years now. I bought it in April of 2022, and I recently paid it off. So I paid $24,000 for this car. My payments were $477 a month. I financed it, I think, for 5 years, but I ended up paying off in 2. Just being pretty aggressive with the payments. You know, anytime I got a commission check that was big or any extra money I had, just threw that kind of at the bottom line of it just to get rid of the payment. You know, just take it off the books. I don't want to have a car payment for along with it, even though it's my toy. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at this. People oftentimes talk about how practical it is to drive a C6 Corvette. That could very well be true for a daily for a lot of people. However, for somebody like myself, it can't be my daily, but it could be like my daily A, I guess. If you had a daily 1 and then a 1A, it could be my 1A. So I can drive this about 99% of the time. I have a 2-year-old that's in a car seat, however. I cannot drive this car with a 2-year-old in a car seat. But other than that, I can drive this. But here's the hiccup with that. I don't go anywhere. I go to the gym every day and I drop my child off at childcare on my way to the gym. So I don't really drive anywhere other than that because I work at home. So my routine would be leave the house, drop him off, and then goes to the gym, then come back and start working immediately. Well, for me, this car, not necessarily the most practical car for that because I can't put a 2-year-old in the car seat, which I knew when I went into buying this car that I couldn't put a 2-year-old into it. And that's one of the reasons why I bought it, actually, is because I didn't want to have an SS Camaro or a GT Mustang or a Cobra or something that was real fast and fun, but it had a back seat in it, and have my toddler in the back seat and decide that I'm going to be an idiot and this knucklehead and a Hellcat's flexing on me and run with him. So I went ahead and got something that I couldn't do anything silly in with the kids in the car. So for me, it's not the most practical daily car. It is a very practical and enjoyable weekend car, and that's typically what I use it for. I have my Audi station wagon, my pickup truck. Those are my 2 dailies right there. I drive those more than the C6, but I have only put about maybe a hair under 5,000 miles on my C6 since I gotten it. Haven't really done any too many modifications to it in that time either. For those of you who don't know, this is a 2007 C6 Corvette, so it's an LS2 car. It's a manual transmission with a Z51 package. And recently, it's kind of a little payoff celebration for myself. I painted the calipers red on this car, so take a look at these real quick. And I also picked up these wheels and tires right here. Just haven't put them on yet. Haven't decided if I'm going to be honest. I really liked them when I saw them. I liked them up until a few days ago, and I don't dislike them. The chrome ones grew on me. It was the first time I had them off, so I cleaned them up, and they looked really good. So it's just kind of hard for me to move on from when actually the chrome wheels just grew on me for the look of the car. But I may toss them on there, we'll see. But I did notice, take a look at this real quick, guys. This is something I noticed when I had the rear wheels off in this car the other day painting the calipers. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen this before, but tell me what you think in the comments. As you can see, I painted the calipers on the C6 as I mentioned. I know you guys didn't want to sit and watch paint dry, so I spared the video of that one, but I want to show you the finished product and how good they look. They really pop nice in the yellow of that car. The car is filthy right now. Once I get the jack off the back of it, I will wash it, but at the moment it's still jack up on one side, and I gotta actually take the tape off of it because I just finished up this one earlier today. Something I noticed, now my car is a Z51 car, not a Z06, so there's no intake duct right here for the rear brake coolers on it, but inside, when you have the rear wheel off, it looks like it has a vent for the rear brake coolers. I'm not real sure if that's what that's for or not, but I thought it was kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just take this tape off and put this wheel back on here in a few minutes. And I think these turned out pretty well, so at least I'm happy with the result. It was my first time doing these, so I just read the directions and did what it said to do, and I think it turned out, like I said, pretty well. So just take your time and do it right? Yeah, pretty interesting, right? Yeah, I didn't know those were there either on the base car, but hey, I like to learn something new, at least one thing new every day, because I'm just somebody that's on a constant path of growth throughout my life, and I want to do better than what I'm doing now. And I'm not doing too bad now, but I know I could do better than what I'm doing. So I'm always going to try and improve and get better. That's just who I am as a person. But back to rant about the Corvette. So as far as practicality, now I've taken this to not to I went to Harbor Tool and Freight a couple weeks ago, and I was able to fit a jack stand in the back of it, as well as I'm sorry, two jack stands, as well as a floor jack in the back of it. And I bought something else that was not too cumbersome, but it's a hatchback. You can put some stuff in it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to lift it in and out. It's a higher lift gate. If I was going to do that stuff, I would take my Audi station wagon or my pickup truck. They're more practical for it, and they're better for hauling stuff. Like this is a car I take when I go get a haircut, or this is a car I take on a Friday afternoon after I close a big sale and I need to go blow some steam off on the highway and kind of just get my head ready for the weekend and not think about work anymore. Or I lose a big deal for that matter. You know, I'll still take this out and pound on it. This is an enjoyment driving car for me. It's not, like I said, a daily. But as far as issues, I haven't really had too many issues with this car. I did have to replace the alternator last summer. I was driving it, I don't remember, it was midsummer, and I ended up parking in my driveway, going out to start the next day, and it was dead in my driveway, and I couldn't figure out why. So I tried to jump it. It wasn't jumping, so I ended up having AAA come and get it, and they towed it to my mechanic, and I needed an alternator. At that time, I also got rear brakes put on the car. I'm going to say the bill was somewhere between $1,500 and $1,700. It is what it is. I don't expect to have no maintenance on a almost 20-year-old car, 17-year-old car at this point. So you know, it is what it is. You know, it's an expensive car. When it was brand new, performance parts aren't cheap. At the end of the day, it's still a Chevy. So it's not a Lamborghini, it's not a Ferrari, it's not $10,000 for an alternator, luckily. But you know, $1,000 or whatever it was, it's still, you know, a pretty penny to pay to have something done. But that's been luckily my only major expense with this as far as repairs go. Gas mileage. I know a lot of people drive these cars and they rant about able to get 28 to 30 miles per gallon in them. Well, I average 12.2 miles per gallon in my C6 Corvette. Sometimes 12.3 if I'm driving it rather gingerly is what it tells me on the inside. So I don't get the best gas mileage, but once again, I don't drive it necessarily probably how other people drive it. My car is a driver. It's not a garage clean. I will park it outside. I drive it. I've washed it in weeks. It's filthy. It needs washed. It's going to be, once I get the tire put back on the other side, like I was showing you guys a minute ago, if they still being off because I painted the caliper. Once I throw that tire back on and drop it off the floor jack, I'll probably focus on cleaning it because it really deserves to be a little cleaner than it is. I don't wash any of my cars, with that being said. I usually park 2 cars in this garage. I don't really wash them anymore. Once my subscription car wash service increased their prices twice in a year, I canceled my memberships. I have 4 cars, and I'm not going to pay $120 a month just to wash my cars. So, I mean, that's almost as much as my insurance for my cars in my house. It got kind of crazy to me. So I started doing it at home. Haven't gotten lazy about it, just haven't done it. It's just starting to get warm enough outside here to where you can actually wash your car. So definitely a priority soon. But I hope to have this car for a while now that it's paid off, and I'm going to start doing some modifications to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What should I do next? I know I'm going to wrap the halo bar on the top in black. I'm going to get the windows tinted. That's kind of probably be one of the next things I do. I'm going to get the mirrors wrapped black too. Haven't 100% decided. Don't know if I'm going to try it myself and figure it out, or have my brother come over. He's a little more specialized on that, or just take it somewhere and pay someone to do it. For me, it's the time is what really comes into play more than anything else. It's the money's nice, you know, saving money is always nice. It feels good, but time, you know, I'm not an expert on it. Somebody else is. I'm willing to pay an expert to do it to save myself the 4, 5, 6 hours of headache, depending upon, you know, $300, $400, $500 of cost. So. But all in all, it's been a great experience in this car. Highly recommend picking one up. I feel like the prices have continuing to drop on them. So I don't know when the best time is to buy it. It's not going to be me to tell you. It's when you can afford to buy it. You can afford to buy the car you want. That's when the best time is to buy it. The market's always going to change. So I can't tell you the best time to buy a C6 Corvette. That's something people ask me all the time. Is this a good time to buy a Corvette? Well, maybe, you know, it's kind of up to you, because for me it could be, but for you it might not be. For you it might be. For me it could not be. So you never know. That's kind of a personal preference. But I see the prices starting to get less expensive in this one. And I've seen some LS3 cars pretty recently going for about what I paid for this, and it has given me kind of a thought about do I get a different C6. But like I said, this is a driver. It's not my baby. I'll keep this for a little bit, and then after that I'll move on from it. I don't know what I'm going to get next. It's hard to say. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I don't try to think too far ahead. I kind of have a mental game with myself that I'm trying not to buy a car for at least 6 more months. So we'll see how that goes. If I do it, I'm going to pay cash for it. I paid cash for my truck. It was the most recent car I purchased. But I don't like having payments, so I'm going to stay away from those car payments. Interest rates are crazy, and if you can afford to buy it in cash, I'm just going to save up for it. So at least 6 months off, unless I just come across an absolute incredible deal, because I do check every day. I've been looking for interesting things like 996, 911s with manuals, maybe an S5 with the V8 in it and a manual. I've been looking for Ford Lightnings. I've been looking for SVT Cobras from the same era, that 2001, 2002 Cobra range or Terminator Cobra, something kind of unique. I've been looking at some SS Camaros. Geez, I look at everything. I have a kind of a weird taste in cars. I don't like anything probably newer than about 2012. I just hate my cars with screens in it. This car doesn't have a screen. I wish it could be my daily. I really do. I don't know that it ever will be though. I mean, my son's only 2. We probably have 8 years until he can really truly ride up front in this car safely, and in 8 years I'll be pushing 51. I don't know if I'll be wanting to drive a Corvette on a daily basis at 51 years old, so we'll see. You never know. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, like I said, but I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking us out again. It's been a pleasure making these videos for you guys, and I really appreciate your support as we continue to grow. So please do me a favor, like I said, and just hit subscribe and give me a thumbs up on the video if you found any value in it. But I enjoy my C6, and I would recommend getting one if it's something that's within your budgetary constraints currently. So enjoy your cars, guys. Thanks for watching.